We are here at Holy Saturday. This is a night of waiting, of anticipation, and of deep mystery. It is a night that invites us to confront the silence and to immerse ourselves in the story of a world paused in the throes of loss and uncertainty. This is the night of the Holy Vigil, a threshold between what was and what is yet to be. This week we have traveled with Jesus and his companions from the triumphant entry into Jerusalem, with the people shouting Hosanna, to Jesus being killed and laid in the tomb. Each night this week, we have walked part of the Passion. On Thursday, we celebrated the Last Supper, where Jesus broke bread with his closest friends and then traveled to the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus prayed and asked for another way. And then we experienced the kiss of Judas and the betrayal of Jesus. Last night, we stood by as Jesus was crucified and died. His body was taken from the cross and laid in the tomb, and the tomb was sealed. The night fell, and a new day has come and gone. Again, it is dark and silent. 24 hours have passed since Jesus was removed from the cross, and tonight we will listen in to the thoughts of three participants in this Passion. We will start with the guard who is stationed at the tomb, and next we will listen to one of the disciples, and finally we'll hear the words of Mary, the mother of Jesus. In this sacred darkness, we gather not as distant observers of history, but present participants in this unfolding story of faith. Tonight's vigil is a journey, one that beckons us to enter the narrative ourselves and to sit alongside those who first experienced the piercing silence of loss. In doing so, we engage in a tradition that transcends time, one that allows us to touch the very heart of mystery. As we listen to the guard, the disciple, and to Mary, we are invited to witness their innermost thoughts and feelings during the greatest pause of history. Through their eyes, we confront the reality of waiting without assurance of what tomorrow brings. The act of waiting, of holding vigil, is our spiritual inheritance, linking us to generations of believers who have also found themselves between despair and hope. Tonight, as we delve into the depths of the Passion, we do so to deepen our own connection to the story, to each other, and to the enduring presence of love that persists even in the shadow of the tomb. We start at the entrance of the tomb. The large stone slab is covering the entrance. And standing next to this rock is the guard who has been stationed at the gravesite. He leans against the cold slab and wonders, why am I here? Why am I guarding a dead man? These thoughts trigger a deep reflection, leading him to contemplate the extraordinary events that have brought him to this moment. And we can hear him saying, "The world feels hushed, silenced in the wake of the last few days. I am a soldier, a guard, duty-bound to serve. Yet my duty tonight is different. I am standing here at a grave, the final resting place of a man named Jesus. He was not a soldier, nor a king in the way that we understand it. Yet, his name echoes in the whispers of the wind. His story woven into the very air that fills this night. I keep thinking about this man. I didn't know him, yet I feel somehow connected. His words and his deeds, they ripple through the city, an undercurrent of something significant, something different. His followers spoke of love, of peace, of a kingdom not of this world. They spoke of miracles and wonders, of a man who loved the unlovable and touched the untouchable. And I am the guard at his tomb, a silent witness to the end of his earthly journey. Could it be? Could this man who performed wonders, who spoke of a kingdom not of this world, be gone? I feel a strange sadness. The tomb is sealed, the stone heavy against the entrance. It is a symbol of finality, a barrier between the living and the departed. There is a long night ahead. I will stand here and do my duty. I will guard this tomb. From what? I do not know. But I will stand. I will wait. And now I wait. We leave this soldier to go find a follower of Jesus, one of the 12, who is now just one. The disciples have scattered. They are each alone in the dark. They are covered in a haze of unknowing. For the last 3 years, the disciples have been with Jesus and with the other 11, spending most of their time being pressed upon by crowds. The days were filled with laughter and awe at the teachings of Jesus that pricked the heart, the hope, so much joyful hope for the future. But now, the night is silent, and everything is quiet, and Jesus is gone, and this disciple is alone. And he sits in the dark with his head held in his hands, and he just asks the question, how did this happen? Why am I here? We listen to his words. How did this happen? How did it come to this? Only a few days ago, we were celebrating, hopeful, full of joy. Jesus was with us, teaching and healing and filling us with a sense of purpose and direction. We just entered the city to shouts of joy. It wasn't supposed to end like this. These last 3 years, the miracles, the teachings, the hope, it all now seems like a distant dream. Everywhere we went, people came to see Jesus. There was this awe in people's eyes as they listened to him teach. The air was electric. The mere presence of Jesus ignited hope for the future. It was going to be better. Something good was happening. Something good was going to happen. But now, all that remains is silence, emptiness, and this horrible sense of loss. Even the owls have stopped their sounds, and the crickets have stopped their song. I just feel the pit of loneliness and an inescapable sense of abandonment. Where is everyone? I miss the other disciples. I miss Jesus. I long for the sound of Jesus' voice, his wise words, his reassuring smile. I yearn for the sense of purpose and direction I had when Jesus was with us. Was it all for nothing? Were the teachings and the miracles and the hope just illusions? Sitting here alone in the darkness, I find no hope. There's no spark of the faith that Jesus had instilled in me. I don't know what the future holds. I guess I must go back to my old life, back to fishing. I mean, it seems like the only way to survive. But now, I can only sit in this darkness and wait. Finally, we find Mary, the mother of Jesus. She is deep in sorrow and reflection. Standing under the darkened sky, Mary quietly reflects on the life of her son, Jesus. The memories flood her mind as she tries to piece together the fragments of a life that was extraordinary from the start. She thinks back to the moment the angel appeared before her, telling her that she would bear a son. At that moment, everything changed. And we can hear her reflection. This baby, he was so beautiful. After he was born, I would spend hours holding him and just stare into his eyes. I would ask, "What do you know? What will you do?" I remember the first time that Jesus walked. His tiny feet pressed into the soft earth. His small hands reached out for balance. The world seemed to hold its breath in that moment, as if earth itself recognized the significance of his steps. The journey was beginning. I loved being his mother. I watched as he grew from a bright-eyed child into a compassionate and wise young man. His words and actions always had a depth that was beyond his years, and people were naturally drawn to him. His words held an authority that was both commanding and gentle. I was always amazed at his ability to captivate a crowd, to hold their attention with his parables and teachings, his lessons of love, compassion, forgiveness. They touched hearts, changing lives in ways that were both subtle and really profound. As his mother, I was filled with immense pride, but also a sense of awe. I knew that his teachings and miracles were not just acts of kindness, but were transformative experiences that would echo through time. As the night deepens, I cling to the memories of my son, the way his laughter filled a room, the way his eyes lit up when he spoke about something that he was passionate about, and the way he loved unconditionally. These memories are all I have left of him, and I hold on to them tightly, a lifeline in my sea of grief. But now, my son is gone. The boy who had once filled my life with joy and wonder was taken from me, crucified, and laid to rest in another's grave. The sorrow is unbearable, a gaping hole in my heart that nothing can fill. I feel as if I'm drowning in my grief. The pain is so deep that it threatens to consume me. I recall the last time that I saw him. his body broken and lifeless. It was a sight that no mother should ever have to see. A part of me died with him that day, a part of him that I know I will never get back. The world feels colder now, emptier. I look around and everything just seems muted. The colors are less vibrant and the sounds are less clear. The loss of my son has cast a shadow over everything. It feels like the world has stopped breathing. I feel like I could lose my breath as well. In the depth of my sorrow and in this darkness, I wait. For what? I don't know. I wait for my breath to return. I wait for the sun to rise. I wait for hope. I can't imagine ever feeling whole again. But in this darkness, I wait. As we sit together in the stillness of this sacred night, let us hold space for this silence that envelops us. The same silence that once fell over the land as creation itself seemed to pause, awaiting a dawn yet unknown. The quiet that now blankets our sanctuary is not an absence, but a presence. It is a presence filled with all that is unsaid, all that is unfinished, and all that is unhealed. In these moments, we are united with the disciples in their vigil, with Mary in her sorrow, and the guard in his duty, each one suspended in a silent epoch. In the quiet, we too might feel the weight of our own uncertainties, our own unfinished stories. The quiet of the night holds all of our unnamed fears, our unshed tears, and our unspoken prayers. Yet here together in the hush, we are not alone. For just as the disciple, the guard, and the mother, so too are we engaged in this communal experience of anticipation, bound by a narrative that transcends time and by a story that belongs to us all. So let us wait, not for the ending, but in the moment. For in this waiting, there is a recognition of life's sacred pauses. There is honor in the act of holding vigil and bearing witness to the darkness before the dawn. As we await the light, we affirm the journey we all must take through the night. And it is enough for now to simply be, to be here together in the expectant stillness of this holy night. And we wait.